Right, now we're going to deal with the floor tom. The floor tom is packaged slightly different from any of the other drums. Both of the rims are actually attached to the top here with a couple of the tuning lugs. So first thing to do is to take those lugs all of the way out so we can actually get the rims off of there. Okay, that's one, and just be careful as well. It's very easy to lose the washer off of these, so make sure you keep the washer on the tuning lug there. So that's one. Okay, so three of those. Okay, so there's one of the rims and there's the other rim. Again, there's a couple of little plastic inserts there which are just designed just to hold the sort of the rims in place for transit. So you don't need those, you can throw those away. Now both of these rims are the same, so it doesn't matter which one you put on top or on the bottom. The next thing you need are your heads, which you would have found in the bass drum packaging along with the floor tom. So what we do, as we did with the bass drum, we take the head. Now it doesn't really matter where the logo goes on any of the drums here, so what we want to do is just to put the head on, just give it a spin round, make sure that's sitting okay on the bearing edge here. From there, we then take our rim, like I said, either one, it doesn't matter, place that on top, again just give that a little spin round, just make sure that it's all sitting sort of comfortably on the bearing edge. Now what you need to then do is line the holes up on the rim with the lugs here and start to then put the tuning lugs back into the rim. Now you will find obviously the three here that you've taken out already. Inside the bag where we had the lugs for the bass drum will be a smaller bag with the rest of the lugs for the floor tom. Okay, so let's split that open. Now this is fairly time consuming, so I'm not going to say much here. I'm going to go through the first sort of little bit and then I'm just going to get on with it so we can get this kit together. The first thing we must say, however, is that you want to use the same procedure. Put one lug in and just get it sort of finger tight. Go to the other side of the drum, put the next lug in, and once again just get that finger tight. So what we're doing is we're making sure that we pull the rim down evenly. If we overdo one side, we're going to pull the rim over and then the head's not going to sit correctly. So there we go, it's one either side. Now what I have a sort of habit of doing then is just to turn the drum round one, another two lugs. Again, just check that the washers are on the lugs there. Put those in, finger tight, turn the drum round again. And finger tight. Now at this point it's a good idea to then just take the palm of your hand and put a bit of pressure on the head, and you'll hear some odd noises, some cracks and some sort of funny sounds there. Just stretch the head a little bit. It won't do it any harm at all. Just take a little bit of the stretch out the head before we start. Okay, now again, I'm not going to go too much into tuning, just a very rough guide to begin with. Go round the drum once more, just checking that all of the lugs are finger tight. And then find yourself a starting position, and my habit really is to always pick the lug that's in front of you. If we give that half a turn, go over to the other side of the drum, give that a half a turn, move round one, half a turn on each, move round again, half a turn on each. Now, there's a lot more to tuning than just this, but I do know with the CBs that if you do that, you're going to get roughly the right sound, okay? So what we need to do now is to repeat that on the other side of the head or other side of the drum. So at this point, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to get on with it. Okay. Right, we have now both heads on, so the next thing to do is to sort out the legs for the floor tom. So if we put this drum down this side, so the brackets for the legs are nearer the top than they are the bottom. The legs for the floor tom are in the hardware box, and they came in the same box as the spurs for the bass drum. These are what we're dealing with here, 3 legs. Now again, we're not sure about height for the moment, so let's just get them into position. Let's say put them roughly halfway down. We do this nut up here, and again, don't over tighten, okay? That's sort of taking the pressure, so just a little turn on that, that's good enough. Okay, so all 3 legs on. Now we can put the floor tom on its feet. So there we go, there's the floor tom all ready to go. Now the position of the floor tom is over here to the right side of the kit. And again, we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail. But what we normally do here is have one leg pointing towards where you're going to be sitting, so that if we want to have an angle on it, we can drop that leg down and get a slight angle on the drum, which some of us prefer. So again, just a habit of mine, but it's a thing to bear in mind. Okay, so there's the position of the floor tom. That gives us now all of our 3 toms. So the next thing to do is to get our snare drum out.